Natalie Elphicke's defection from the Conservatives to Labour, I suppose in Keir Starmer's mind, is a gesture of what Conservative voters are expected to do at the general election. I think he's expecting rather more than reality. I think the majority of Conservative voters at the general election will follow what they did at the local elections and simply not turn up. I think that's how Keir Starmer is going to win. I don't think there's going to be an entire brigade of die-hard right-wing Conservatives who will cross the chamber and vote for the Labour Party. More than that, I think the more Conservative MPs who defect to Labour in such a spectacular way as Natalie Elphicke did today, with the with the vagueness about whether or not she is in fact or is not going to stand at the next election in Dover and therefore displace the current selected Labour candidate. It's certainly not clear from the news which is coming out, though some people in the comments section seem to think that they've heard some sort of clear statement from Sky, some clear statement from the BBC. I haven't. I've looked. There's no clarity. What there is a backlash from people like Lord Kinnock and from others who are suggesting that if Starmer accepts more of these right-wing Conservative MPs into Labour, it's likely that George Galloway will be accepting Labour MPs who will defect from the Labour Party to Galloway's Workers' Party, which has been desperate to recruit new MPs. Desperate, it's even approached Jeremy Corbyn to no effect. But it will look significantly more like a home for those people who are horrified that Natalie Elphicke should be making a new home in among MPs whom she has previously dismissed and who have sworn at her. At the same time, of course, there are ministers in the Conservative Party who look upon Elphicke as somebody who has betrayed them. It's certainly not clear what the future will be. It's certainly not clear. Lord Kinnock says that the Labour Party, he was speaking on This Week in Westminster, and he says the Labour Party should be more choosy about who it accepts. The first question is how she will fare and how she will show commitment to her constituency over the remaining months to the general election. That's up to her and up to them to reflect. And as far as the party is concerned more generally, I think we've got to be more choosy to a degree about who we allow to join our party, because it's a very broad church, but churches have walls and there are limits. Miss Elphicke has got to decide whether she is committed to the programme and principles of the Labour Party, broadly defined, generously defined with great liberal intentions, but we are a political party and not a debating club. And a former shadow chancellor, John McDonnell, has said that Natalie Elphicke's defection to Labour would have strained the generosity of spirit of John the Baptist. Well, of course, as we know, he lost his head, and maybe some people who were discussing the defection of Natalie Elphicke have lost their head, or at least their mind. It's described as Mish Rahman, who's on the left side of the Labour Party, has said that it's a new low for Starmer. I would love to know what Owen Jones has got to say. I suspect he will just assume this is normal, and we have to see what happens. At the same time, Labour have restored the whip to Kate Osamor, the MP for Edmonton, who was suspended in January following a backlash for her so-called amoral and offensive remarks. And the chief whip, we're told, has today restored the Labour whip to Kate Osamor. And she has said, I'm grateful to the Labour Party for their investigation into my conduct, and I accept the outcome in full. I want to unreservedly apologise again for my comments. I made remarks which were insensitive, inappropriate, and for which I apologise and regret. I will continue to reach out to Jewish stakeholders and the community. And she said she was committed to ensuring that I don't fall short of the highest standards. A repentant sinner is so much better than somebody who is who gets away with abusive comments. So, a little bit of reform goes a long way, doesn't it?